Hi everyone, welcome back to the Orange and Steel podcast. Today I'm joined by one of my closest friends, Oseme Thomas. This is someone who has seen me through multiple versions of myself. We're talking about real friendships, the kinds that survive time, distance, personal growth, and even silence. So buckle up. This is going to be a mix of laughter, honesty, and maybe a few confessions. So sit tight and enjoy the ride. Don't forget to leave comments. And for those that know us, let's hear what you really think about this. Hello, Osama. Welcome to the Orange and Steel podcast. So glad to have you on here. But before we begin, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you, Temi. I'm so excited to be on this podcast today. I've been, excited, waiting. But yeah, brief introduction. My name is Oseme. I'm a wife, I'm a friend, a daughter, a sister, lover of God, and a Jesus baby. I think that's what it is. Career-wise, I'm a lawyer, but I'm actually not practicing law. But I do compliance and risk currently. So yeah, that's a brief introduction of myself.
Lovely. And I'm happy to have you here. And of course, you are like my BFF. Osama is one of my closest friends, as I said. And today we're just going to be talking about our friendship. And without wasting any more time, let's begin. So, Osama, I would ask you, do you remember the first time we met? What was your honest impression of me?
Of course, I remember. I think out of many things that we've experienced together, I think the first time I met you, still I can remember it vividly. So I remember we were preparing to go into Unilag. So we're taking preparatory lessons. And I remember being in the classroom and you walked in, you were late, of course.
Oh my God.
But no, this girl walks into the class, pretty girl, really posh and bougie. She walks in smiling. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, very pretty girl, but I'm pretty sure she's one of all those snobbish girls. So I already prejudged even before speaking to you. And I think that's because, when I was in secondary school back then, you had all these girls all these pretty girls, but, they sort of are snobbish. So I prejudged you. But interestingly, as the day went on, we all started talking, all of us in the class. And I found that you are really, sweet, down to earth, easy to talk to, and playful. And we found out that we stay close to each other. Our houses were not far apart. So I think we went home together. I cannot really remember. But what I remember was we planned to come to classes the next day. So I remember coming to your house in the morning. I was so far away from mine. And you were dressing up. When I met your mom, your mom, the loveliest. But I can always remember
Oh,
that
thank you.
in the morning, very serene environment. And yes, I think that was where it kicked off. And we've been friends since then. So that's my honest impression of you.
Honestly, I always laugh every time you say that because I've never even seen myself as a snob. So I just always
Yeah.
wondered, where did you get that from? I think my first impression of you was just simple. I just thought, oh, lovely, simple girl. You seem like someone that was like in your corner. You seem really reserved, but you also seemed simple. I didn't judge you. But for some reason, I've noticed that with you, people always think you're actually the one prone to be the snob. Because I've had people ask me like, "Oh my God, how are you friends with Oseme?" Like, she always looks serious all the time, like strict. I always tell them that when you get to know her, she's a lovely person. So yeah, so that's great.
It's nice to get that honest opinion. I think, yeah, people do say I have a stern face, but I think maybe that's just me being, I'm just checking everywhere, being sure, who the right person is. I think I'm trying to assess, before talking to people. But yes, I'm working on that still.
No,
But
I
yeah.
think, I think you've come a long way with that. And as some people say, the people that have those kind of faces sometimes are the nicest human beings on earth. So, and I can attest to that. Like, yeah, one off, not the nicest, but one off anyway. So, at what point would you say we became like real friends?
I think we became real friends through our experiences. I think from, like I said, that day we started going to classes together. I think our relationship and friendship built on from there. And I think from then, we're sort of inseparable before we go into Unilag, right? So we started building those memories together. And then when we go into Unilag as well, we stayed together in the hostel, right? But I think what really built our bond, interesting, like you were, I don't know, you're just and maybe that's why, because obviously we have two different personalities, right? You're more outgoing, and I think I was more reserved. And regardless, we just seemed to blend well. I just found that I was, comfortable around you. So for me, anyways, personally, I think our real friendship, started as we kind of together. We're just going along, getting into Unilag together, staying together, our experiences together, starting fellowship together. I think that sort of built our real friendship. So I can't really pinpoint, but from then on, I just knew, yeah, you're just going to be my BFF and best friend.
Oh.
Yes. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's pretty much the same. I think for me, from the beginning, you were actually really nice. I mean, all those times of you coming to wait for me to get ready so we could go for the classes together. My mom would come into the room and be like, your friend is waiting. Your friend is waiting. And I'm like, I'm almost ready. And then you never complained. I used to be like, oh my God, this girl, is she real? Like, is she for real? I would have been pissed sometimes. I mean, you were always, but yeah, you're always like, easy. And I think for us, we just bonded, on time. I mean, there was a third person. Remember Alero? Alero, shout out
Yeah.
to you. But somehow I think we were just closer. And then, of course, when we entered school, as you said, because we stayed together. I mean, we stayed together all through uni, from year 1 to year 4.
We did.
Well, for you,
We
year
did.
5, after I left, you found other friends. Don't mind me. But yeah, I mean, it was in that, like, it was just a natural flow. It was nothing forced, So yeah, that's what I'll say. It is. What's something we've done together that you'll never forget?
Oh, there are many things.
There are many things, but let me even start with that one. I
Yes.
think I think the times, like in Unilag, the times we went to, is it Silverbed? What was that place called where we always hung out? Huh?
The Galleria.
Yeah, the Galleria. I think yeah, we hung out a lot there, every now and then. Another one was when you when you started working at Bristol and you were living in Cardiff, me and all. And our movie nights, the fact that we got the Cineworld card where we could watch as many movies as we wanted to. Those times were beautiful memories for me. And I'll tell you why. Before you came, it was just me going. And then, of course, remember my flatmate then, Chidima, remember? Shout out to you, Chidima. She was always reluctant to go. But when you came, because those are things that we like we shared similar interests. It was easy. You got the card and then we went and did all of that marathon, jumping from one screen to another. And it was lovely. That's one memory I have. I mean, there are many, but those two, I think, are memories that I still have. Yeah.
No, I think our days in Unilag, for sure. We had amazing times in Moremi with all the people that liked you, everybody. And I just used to
Oh
be
my
like,
God. But there are many
no,
that
but
liked you too.
no. But aside that, no, we spent a lot of time in Unilag doing different things, praying together. I remember we used to go to the
Chapel.
chapel in the morning. We'll go together when we come back from home on Sunday. If you remember, in the evenings, we'll go to the chapel, we'll pray together. We did a lot of it together. And then, of course, as you said, in the UK, yes, living together was awesome, right? It was just nice to just be in the house, living with people that you just enjoy being with. It was nice coming back from work and all of us would just sit and gist. And as you say, on the weekend, we'll go into the mall, watch a movie. We're always looking for places to eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, fun times, fun memories, honestly. And there's something I remembered recently, that you actually came to my cult bar in Abuja, and I'm like, wow, honestly, I was like, Tamia is actually, I'm like, wow, you were there for my call to bad. No, that's a lot. So
Oh, that was
thank you.
such a long time ago. I think I was like 2008, if I
Yeah.
remember. I wasn't about the world. My girl was being called to
Oh,
bar. What's
mhm.
something I did early in the friendship that made you feel like, yeah, this person gets me?
I think you just made me comfortable. As I said, I don't think I've had, and no offense to any of my friends, I have friends out there. You kind of just helped me with confidence, as you said. I used to be that really reserved, shy girl that just sits there. But there was a way that you kind of made me feel like, oh, okay. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to put it into words, but you kind of had my back in a way, right? And I think that really, I really appreciated that. So that kind of gave me a a bit of confidence, sort of. I just knew that I had this person that had my back, someone that actually cared. So yeah, I would say that that's one thing that you did in our friendship that made me feel like, oh no, this person is my, and we just had a lot of core values or things that we genuinely did
Yeah.
like together. So it wasn't like a struggle. Our friendship wasn't like anyone was struggling, or it was just a friendship that just genuinely grew and blossomed as it was supposed to be. And I think that's why we're still friends up till now, anyways.
Yeah. I think for me, I think you were really loyal. And that meant so much to me because you're just that friend that I could call on and you'll be there. In fact, there was a time in the early years where I used to feel like, oh my God, I used to be careful not to use you, so to say, because I just know that if I say, oh, Sema, this, you'll be there. Do you get? You were always like there, you were loyal. I just always felt like if there was nobody to fall back on, Oseme will be there. So I think that's one thing I picked very early. And as you
Mm,
said, to core values. And I mean, that was really good. And so one thing I've loved about our friendship is also the fact that we both give back to each other. Like it's a give and
yeah,
receive kind of friendship. It's not one sided that one person is giving all of themselves and then the other person is
yeah.
receiving. I mean, countless times we've been there for each other. But can you remember that time? In fact, that day I was like, I really like this chick.
Mm.
When I risked it all for you to go and get your exam card, I was just saying my parents to kill me. Can you remember? That
Oh my God, that was a long time
was
ago.
diploma.
I mean, you remember things. Oh my God. Wow. I remember. Oh my God. I'll never forget. Because it meant that you potentially could have, lost out on getting into Unilag,
I'm telling
literally.
you, it was
That
the
was,
exam.
oh my God. I don't even know how you remember. No, that's why I said, honestly, we've been through so much and you have my back. That just gave me that confidence. And I know you say the thing of, okay, and I like the fact that you said, you are cautious as well, not to come across like, oh, yeah, taking advantage or, things like that. And I think that I appreciate that because for me, that's something that naturally, it's not even about you. You get it's something that I do naturally. Like
Yeah.
I just, so when you say, oh, you think about that as well, that's great. But yeah, I think in our friendship, I wouldn't say anybody has used was a well balanced friendship because there are things that you've done for me that no other person, has done. Oh my God, yeah, I remember that. Crazy. Oh gosh.
Early
I have
days.
for that. Oh my God.
That day was so crazy. And I remember when we got to your house, you were crying. Your brothers were very unbothered. They were like, what's wrong with this one? And I think they had to break the door for you to get the stuff out, your
I
card.
think,
And then we
yeah.
rushed back and barely got there, just when the exam was about to start. It was crazy. But it was a good one.
Honestly, I can't even. That had so wow. I remember. No, that was a crazy, crazy time. I don't even know how that even happened. But no, thank you so much. I remember now. Like
Aww.
you did not have to. I don't think everybody people would have done that. You've gone with me. Oh my God, it's I
It was a
can't
risk.
believe
My parents would have killed me if they had
that.
even.
Amazing. For us, we always sort of found ourselves around each other a lot. Do you think that actually strengthened our bond? as friends?
Yes, I would say it had its place because we started with Unilag. We're in Unilag together. We lived in the same neighborhood. When it was time to do masters, we went to do our masters at the same time. While we were there, we lived in different places. I was in London, you were in Manchester. Then I moved to Cardiff for work. Then you came to Cardiff because you got a job in Bristol. And you're like, well, it's just 30 minutes away. Why live in Bristol when you can live with me? And, there was a nice community there in Cardiff.
Yeah.
So we've just sort of like found ourselves around each other. And even though the times when we're not in the same space, we still kept very much in touch. It's still, I'll still say that the fact that we're in the same space every now and then together helps strengthen the bond as well. You get, so yeah, I would say that.
I totally agree. I think and I don't know if that was intentional. Yeah, I think we planned to do our masters together. And when you were in hall, doing your masters, I think I came to see you. You came to Manchester as well. Made those trips intentionally when we were in school. So that was really, really good. It was nice coming to hall, go out and everything, same as Manchester. And yes, coming to live with you in Cardiff, that really strengthened our relationship. So I would say spending time did add a lot to our foundation and the growth of our friendship. And I think that's what has even helped, because I think this is the longest time we've been away from each other.
Yes.
Nigeria. But regardless, we're still good friends. And I think the fact that we spent a lot of time together before had given us a good foundation for that. So how do you still keep our friendship? Seeing that we are miles apart now.
Yeah, I think again, for me, sometimes I tell people that I can't even call Oseme my friend again. Like, she's like my sister. I think we've sort of like crossed that line. And
Yes.
again, we have a lot of things in common still. We check on each other. And funny enough, it's not as regular as before. As you said, the distance, this is the longest we've been apart, for years. I
Yeah.
moved back when 2015, and even though we've seen a few times after then, it's not been like before. But whenever we talk, we catch up like, okay, there's no distance. It's just the same. And we can't say the same for some other friends that we've had, but for us, it's just that natural flow that is still there and all. And then yeah, so I'll just say, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think we still definitely keep our friendship going with the calls. And I think that's where the intentionality really comes in. And even if we don't speak every single day, the days that we speak, we really catch up and we talk about different things, right? So there are times I'm just like, I've not spoken to Itemi for a bit, and, I'll call or message. But funny enough, we still sort of message each other. Just probably that we might not talk like
Yeah.
as regularly. But I wouldn't really say that anything has impacted our friendship along the way. When we speak, we just speak like, oh, nothing is just continuous. And I think that's another thing that's helped us. Sometimes you have some friends that they'll just be like, you've not even called me, or you've not even, or you've not done this, so why didn't you call? We don't do all that. And
No.
really, we've gone above being friends. But it's not a toxic relationship where someone is blaming another person for not calling, or, we just carry on because we know that life is happening,
Yeah.
right? So I think, yeah, that's just what it is. And we'll keep going stronger and stronger. Yeah. Anyway, so the next question is: have we ever had a rough patch? And what helped us get through it?
Had a couple. But I'll talk about the time Oseme decided that she needed new friends and wanted to ditch me. And I was just like, what is wrong with this chick?
That's not conscious, but let's hear it.
Well, not ditch, but it was just that time where it felt like you were tired. You know how people get tired in relationships and just feel, oh, I want something new. But it was sort of like a rough patch. But there was just that time we seemed to be getting at each other's nerves. Like, it was just a season. And if you remember, we sort of like gave each other space. But I gave the space because I know she needs the space and all of that. But then I think one time he now visited me in Cardiff. This was even before he got the job. I think I didn't come for the interview, and I was like, okay. It was weird now because it was just like, okay, we've had this. I hope we don't fight. But I think we did talk about it after a while, and then that was resolved. So, and I think for us, the good thing is that we know how to talk. So
Yeah,
I think I think I'm the one that is very like, I think sometimes I'm very like upfront, and it comes across as harsh, but I'll tell you the truth as it is, no matter how hard it
yeah,
is. And I know you always found it annoying, but I think you always appreciated it at the end. So that's what
definitely.
I'll say about the rough patch.
Rough patch. Yeah. I think I remember that time that we did seem like I believe I was in Scotland at that point in time. And funny enough, I think at that period as well, I was sort of going through some things
Yeah.
going on points, And I know that you always sort of had on me on things like that as well. So yeah, like I said, so perhaps that might be just like, "Please, this girl should just leave me alone." But no, yeah, we had the conversation about it, and we've been able to resolve it. I don't think after then we've ever had a time where
Mm.
we've had any major. Yes, we might have a little bickering here and there, but nothing major.
Yeah.
So talk about, and I think that's how it should be for any
Mhm.
relationship. I don't think there's any relationship that is perfect. If a relationship goes through difficult times and you're able to get out of it, that only makes the relationship even stronger at that point in time. But yeah, I think I had other people around me then, so perhaps that was what was to that. What have you learned from us being friends? Even when it wasn't easy. Is there anything you've learned from our friendship?
And I've learned a lot. I think one thing, even when it was not easy, I always remembered that, this is a good person and she's loyal. I keep saying loyal because not too many people have loyal friends. And I'm blessed to have you because you're a loyal friend. You're kind. And I
Oh,
learned that, nobody is perfect. You get so patience has to come in. I
mm-hmm.
learned patience. I learned that I needed to look at your good sides, and your good sides always outweighed your excesses.
Yeah.
So that was something. And also I learned to work with you and manage you. So I understood how to manage. And again, because of when friendship started, when you're younger, sometimes I feel like it's easy to blend better, like you understand each other better. I think we extend more grace when we're younger. But yeah, generally, I'll say that, those are the things I learned.
Okay. No, that's fine. I think same as myself as well. Our personalities are different. We've just I've learned how to be adaptable as well. I know there was something that you taught me one time. I remember, I think I used to have expectations. I remember I used to feel like, oh, because I've done something for someone, I expect that, they'll do it back for me. And I remember you telling me then that, you shouldn't, if you're going to do something, just do it without, placing expectation on that person. Just do it from your heart. And even if the person doesn't do it in return, it doesn't really matter. So, and I thought about it really well. And I think I took that, and that kind of really helped me, I
Mm.
think, in our relationships as well. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I totally agree. We've kind of always been able to talk about it, and we've just learned from each other. And I think that's built our friendship as well. And what do you think about the concept of best friends? Do you think it still exists?
So I think that's it. It's a dicey one. So I think as we grew as friends, using us, we moved from best friends to saying, we have like a close circle of friends. Because to be honest, you're not my only close friend. You guys have some other close friends. And I think with us, our friends, like if you had friends, they became my own friends. My friends became your own friends. Like people in my crew know Oseme. People in your crew know Item. In fact, I'm good friends with some of your own friends. Do you get?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. So I feel like as we grow older, you meet more people, and then you form new friends. Do you get? For instance, you were in University of Manchester doing your masters. I was in Hall. There, you had some friends from LAG that you formed a stronger bond with. Even now, you're in the UK. You have more new friends. I don't even want to start talking about that. My friend that you were questioning me about. Then when I left the UK, you now became close to her. I don't want to talk about that. You see, because all of that your jealousy, you now went and became friends with her. Don't mind me, but so the concept of best friend, it still exists, but many people could be like your very close friends. So how many are you going to say bestie to? Because we have different friends that add different kinds of values to us. Like they do different things in our lives. There are different kinds of friends. So and all of us come together and some are really close. Do you get? I have some really close friends from secondary school, as you know. And so I think, when we're younger, we can say, oh, this one is my best friend. But I feel like as we go older, you have a couple of best friends and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think in a way, I don't know. Yeah, I understand that you kind of acquire friends as you go on. But maybe our own case would be slightly different because you always still be my bestie one way or the other because yeah, no, I think so. I don't think there are a lot of people that I still wouldn't, share some things with, right? That I would share with you because we already have created that safe space. Okay. People that I still wouldn't be necessarily vulnerable to doesn't mean that I'm not close to them. I am.
Yeah.
But for us, because we've gone through a lot, right? For me, the kind of friendship that we share is much more than just, your regular.
True.
There's no judging each other. I don't think, oh, I can come and tell Itemi something and I feel I'll be judged. And I think we just have that genuine care about each other.
Yeah.
We see each other succeed and there's no hiding. Sometimes people say, oh, friends, you have to be mindful. But in my mind, I say that I've tested this friendship. You know how do you say, oh, you've tested God and you are certain that he's not going to. But I've tested our friendship and I know that for me, genuinely, I can't say, oh, okay, it's a bad friend. So yeah, so for me, you're still my bestie regardless. So that's why I question you about when you put on Instagram, you say your bestie. And I'm like, how many besties do you have?
Oh my God, I feel now. I feel like I'm not loyal. No, listen, you're my
No,
bestie.
no, no, of
Oseme
course
is my bestie. Forget all that close friend stuff I said about, Oseme is my bestie. I'm
not.
saying it out here. Like, that was beautiful. But no, no, no.
Okay.
Of course, like, I said earlier, I think we've crossed the line of just friendship. I always say
Yeah.
Oseme is like my sister. Do you get?
100%. No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's even crossed that line. But yeah, thank you. I mean, you put it in perspective, so
Yeah.
that's good. So, how has our faith played a role in our friendship over the years?
Our faith, that's a big one. I think faith has played a huge, and I think that's one of the strong foundations of our friendship. I remember you started being serious with God first when we entered Unilag.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought I was going to Unilag to go and have fun. One of my friends returned that decided that in this year one, it's when she said that she wants to become a Christian. In my mind, I'm like, I don't even have a choice. She's my friend. So if she's a Christian, I have to be a Christian. God, I'm like, what is. I'm like, I don't have any choice. And you didn't even allow me to have a choice. It's almost like, okay, as I'm going to this fellowship, you're coming with me. I remember when all our playlists in the room now became Sissy Winans. Hey, God. Like, from Cher that we used to Destiny's Child. Now we're listening to Sissy Winans. I'm like, I've entered one chance today. But regardless, I think, I think as I said, I'm on this journey with my friend, regardless. But in all honesty, it was fulfilling. I think we couldn't have had a better Unilag days, right? And I'm glad that you brought that faith journey to me. Okay. And I admired how you just love God. Even till now, the way you talk about God, it's just different from religion. Okay, so that's something I've admired about you even up till now. Your relationship with God, how you've kept that even over time, right? It's amazing. And I know that you have been through, we see you all pretty, everything, but I know that you've gone through certain things in your personal life, right? And I think it's only God that has helped you to come out of those things. So I totally agree. You brought me into the faith as well, and we've kind of grown together. So yeah, no, honestly, our faith with God, loving God, is one of the crucial parts of our relationship. There are times now that we talk about normal things, but we still always talk about God in the midst of everything we're talking about. No, that's great.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. Even though, yes, I was the one that pulled you in. Sorry I cut your fun, but I think you caught up with it later when we had better understanding, of course. But yeah, I think Even having you support me and grow with me was a beautiful journey. I mean, there were times we prayed together, all of that. Can you even remember when we decided to do like a fruit fast, a 3-day fruit fast together that we almost died? And it wasn't like the church was doing it, but we just wanted to like I think that was the first time we're doing something like that. It was a lot. But even for me, you might say, oh, I held you, I pulled your butt. For having you also strengthened me because I had someone to do it with. Do you get? We talked about God, we grew together. Even in the UK, we were still, moving, like we'll remind each other about God. And even like now, I think I love how involved you are in church. I'm not even as involved. And that's an encouragement. I see what you're doing. And yeah, just being really into God. I see that you still held on to Him. And that's beautiful because, as we always say, we need Him. We can't do without Him. He's part of our lives. So, yeah, it's beautiful.
So I think one thing that has also that how faith has played in our relationship is the fact that you've taken some huge risk as well. And I remember when you were going to preach, you one day you just came and said, "Oh, God told you that you have to start preaching on the bus."
Are you
I said,
serious?
"Oh
That's
my."
what God told me, my God.
Yes. Oh, so you said the Holy Spirit something, and it was disturbing you. You said you had to preach on the bus. I'm like, wow, what is going on here? And it meant that I had to be on this bus with you. So I remember, I think the first time we get on the bus, but nothing came out from it. And I felt for you, but you can imagine.
Oh my gosh.
I think even me myself, I was sweating. Like, okay, let me open your mouth, but she didn't open. But I admired your courage. Honestly, your Christian faith, I admire it so much because we get off and you're like, you're still going to do it. So we get, and then it starts to, I think he started singing first, and I had to sing as well. And then you start to preach. No, but I was super proud of you for doing that. I'm like, this girl never ceases to surprise me. But no, it's amazing. Honestly, it takes a lot of courage. That's why I said there's so many things I admire about you. You go out of your comfort zone and do those things. It's not easy preaching in the bus in Nigeria, but you did it, and yeah, it was amazing.
I don't even know
That
how I
always,
did it.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Like, honestly, if you even tell me to do it now, I'm like, eh? But, I remember telling one guy that, oh, yeah, I even preached in the bus. I was like, why would you do that? And I'm like, what if it just comes to me to share? I just share. But I mean, there was one time I preached to a particular guy in the bus. And he started coming to church. Can you remember? I mean, if it was only one person.
Even if it's only one person, I totally agree.
Can you think of a time we prayed together or when one of us reminded the other of something deeper, something God was doing even when we didn't see it?
Okay. Yeah, I think with respect of praying together, I think, I have gone through the journey of fertility. I was still going through the journey of fertility, which, and I've experienced difficult times, right? So I know, remember that you set up a prayer group for us to pray, not just myself, but other people that, are going through fertility as well. And those prayers meant a lot, to me, even though the prayer group is not, how these things are, of course, life is busy. But aside even those prayer groups, there are times we've just prayed together concerning, you know, fertility, you encouraging me about it, right? And or encouraging ourselves. Sometimes I'm even like, the way you even speak, one would think that you're not going through the journey as well. But I think us praying together and sharing the word, you're reminding me of the word, reminding me of what the word says concerning fertility is something that I always appreciate. And yeah, we were positive, and we keep talking about it and encouraging each other. And
Yeah.
I think that, because the truth is, sometimes I know people pray for us, they probably wouldn't really understand. If you've not been through the journey of fertility, you wouldn't really appreciate it that much.
Yeah.
But because you are going through it as well, and we talk about it, we are able to then strengthen ourselves in that aspect. So I think that's something that resonates with me deeper because obviously that's something that I'm going through at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on that. The support, the prayers, it's good to be able to share and encourage each other when one person is feeling low and then pray for each other as well. So, a few fun questions. Who's more likely to get us into trouble?
Oh, we know the answer.
How dare you?
Anytime is most likely to get us into trouble.
Oh my gosh.
There's no two way about it.
I don't know if I'll take that, but yeah, most people will say it's me. They don't know. Okay, let me leave that. Let me leave that. Who's
Yeah,
more
the more
likely?
adventurous
Okay.
one.
Okay, who's more dramatic and who is more laid
Uh,
back?
we know the answer to this.
No, I won't take this
You know,
one.
anytime I can remember that you used to be a drama queen. Not a drama queen in the sense, but you used to act. I remember there's that stage drama you did in church. It was outstanding. Yourself and Martin.
Martin.
Oh, but I think the whole church was in awe of that
The
production.
production
It
was
was
good.
good.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was,
it. I haven't even
I
acted since then. But in terms of drama, drama is relative. Oseme can be very dramatic too, like in her own quiet way. So, but generally, people will say Etami is more dramatic. Yeah, yeah. Dramatic. When they know you do not see your drama. So, shots of
yes,
people
yes.
are nodding as they're listening. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Oseme is dramatic.
I, I think some people will probably agree with you that yes, the summer is dramatic a bit.
Who is the hopeless romantic? Oseme.
Yes, I am. I'm the one. I remember you always saying to me, "Why do you like certain type of guys? Why? Why do you want to be touched?
Oh God.
Want to like people that yeah." But I don't know. I think I'm just a hopeless romantic. I think I tend to just see the good in people. Maybe that's what I say,
You love
right?
love.
I love love. I love to love.
But I love to
I think
love too, but you know.
yeah, wisdom. But me, I'm doing it without wisdom. The funny thing is, I think over the years, I've sort of, grown
Of
a
course.
bit. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things about relationships and I think, for anyone that is going into a relationship that you are potentially hoping to lead to marriage or it's that the people always say that thing that you being whole for yourself before you go somewhere else, you knowing who you are. Do you understand? So I think for a while I probably was in that place of not really knowing who I am. Do you understand? And so that kind of sort of made some decisions. I think I in my mind I felt like I wanted a certain kind of person, right? Instead of people that are different, more or less. Yeah.
I
I'll keep it
guess
at
so.
that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's you knowing who you are really well so that you're able to make the right decisions on who you want to spend the rest of your life with or who you want to go into a relationship with. It's super important. So but
I
yeah.
agree with you. Yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean, me, I wasn't a hopeless romantic, unfortunately. In fact, as I might say, I was wicked. I wasn't wicked. But I just didn't know how to suffer. I always knew what I wanted. Always, like, and I feel like
Yeah.
some people then will say, oh, you're harsh. I mean, there's no point wasting time. If I just noticed after a while that this is not it, I move. You know, there's no point
Go
starting anything when I know that this is not going to lead to anywhere. You already know
yeah.
me. Me, I love myself. I love my peace. I cannot be stressed. I can't.
I totally agree.
So yeah. So let's do this. Describe me in 3 words. No overthinking, just heart. Go.
Beautiful, confident.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah, annoyingly confident. It's good. No, in a good way. No, it's good. You're confident. I know I'm not supposed to think about it. Maybe an over analyzer, I think.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
just
change.
analyzing everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. 3 words. Loyal, hot.
Mhm.
Could be dramatic, really, honestly.
I think the drama is coded drama.
It's coded drama. There are many things I want to say, but yeah. But let's leave those three. So, what's one fun thing we enjoy doing together now?
We love to binge on romantic love series. No, just anything. Like, I think we
Yeah.
ourselves movie ideas, referrals. We have a list of series on Netflix or Prime that we've watched together, and then we talk about it and just analyze it together. That's usually so fun.
It's
We
always
send
so
voice.
fun. It's always so fun.
Yeah.
Oseme is a hopeless romantic. You can see why she said only romantic movies. Didn't we recently analyze Sinners?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yes, I love that, honestly. Like, we're literally sending each other voice notes. Did you see what happened there? This guy is crazy. Did this happen here? It's beautiful. So yeah, we recommend series and movies to each other. We watch and then we analyze together, talk about it, and it's really fun. So yeah, that's one fun thing we did together.
What's something you'd want to thank me for, even if you have never said that before?
I think I want to really thank you for my 40th birthday surprise. I know it was you and Mariah, right, that came up with it, but I know I just talked to you about how South Africa disappointed me, didn't give me visa, so I was in pain and all of that. And then you planned with my husband. He lied. We were going somewhere else. In fact, he was telling me to wear a particular dress, and I was like, "No, why am I dressing up? Why am I dressing up for your friend's thingy?" And I'm like, And then I got there, and the people that mattered were there. My family, my good friends. It meant so much. So thank you.
Oh, that's sweet. No, it's nice. You will always be a special person in my life. But yeah, I remember that you actually have been there for me in some of my milestone years, right? And I just thought, oh wow. And you even now reminded me of, the diploma when I forgot my card. I was just thinking through and I just realized that wow, you've been there in the times that I really, really needed, you know that support. There are even times during this whole fertility journey, there are times that, I've been down extremely, and you just send me a message and just, oh, something, I'm checking up on you. For me, that means a lot. If you buy me a gift, that's great. But for me, my love language is when I see that someone, just randomly does something out. It shows me that I'm on your mind. Do you understand? So when you've done all those things, it just shows how much love. Like, I've always felt your love, in every little thing that you've done, in you advising me, telling me to be stronger, telling me to do away with some certain relationships. I think all those things, I really want to thank you. And for everything, for our whole friendship so far and where we are till now, I think I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
What would you say to someone listening who's struggling with friendship right now?
I would say let go of the ones that don't serve you. There's no point trying too hard to be anybody's friend. That's one thing I'll say to you. But most importantly, cherish the real ones. Cherish the day ones. And day one doesn't mean it has to be an old friendship like mine and Oseme's or, even maybe from secondary school. Sometimes along the way in life, you meet some really solid people, and make some solid friendships. Cherish those ones. Cherish people that show up for you. Don't take them for granted because maybe you've been taken for granted in the past or whatever. Cherish people because you need your day ones. Do you get? You get to a certain age where you can't be having people that don't serve you. Anywhere you feel like you're not welcomed, anywhere you feel like you're trying too hard, you're trying to be part of a group of friends that don't reciprocate, don't reciprocate the gesture. Move on. Find the real ones and stick to them. That's what you need to do.
I think that's good. I think for me, I would say uh, friendship is a journey, right? So there are just different stages that we pass through, and maybe the parts, whatever the reason why that person is struggling or whatever it might be, as you rightly said, self-reflect and see what the issues are. It might even be, you, right? You think it's someone else, but maybe that you need to work on, as a person, and maybe you're not bringing something into that relationship, whatever. I think we should always just introspect at every time and see if there's something that we need to work on that can always make our the friendship better. And I do hope that that helps. So what do you pray for in this last season of our friendship?
Just pray, I pray that we keep being good friends. I pray our bond gets stronger and we keep supporting each other. But most of all, I pray for us to excel. I pray that we watch our dreams come true. We'll celebrate each other and grow old together. We'll be one of those women in their 70s and 80s where we say, oh, this has been my friend for so many years, for 60 years, and we're traveling together. That is my
Yes,
wish.
yes.
That's my
Uh,
prayer.
that's my prayer too. I pray that our kids will be friends. I don't know if you see all those, movies or whatever that, our kids know each other. They'll know that, oh, my mom were friends.
Mm.
So I pray that for us. I pray that we eventually get to do one of our travels because we've planned it forever and ever. I pray that we get to do this travel. And yeah, for us as well, nobody's leaving anybody behind. Is well, both
Yes.
going up and growing together and excelling together. And that's where we will be. And then when we'll look back at all the things and where we've come from. So I pray that God would help us to achieve that. I pray that
Amen.
keep us safe,
Amen.
keep our family safe,
Mm-hmm.
and help us to just achieve all our dreams. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Oseme. So we've come to the end of this. I think I've had crazy fun talking about this, and it's
it
just
is.
beautiful to go through those memories that we've shared and built over the years. So thank you, and keep
Uh,
looking beautiful, looking hot, and doing your
thank you.
thing. And yes,
Yeah,
enjoying
thank
our
you.
friendship.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. As you said, it's nice reliving all those things again. I'm sure anybody listening to this video will just be like, these two girls. No, but no, it's nice. And I hope, people listen to it and can pick something,
Mm.
and I think it's just been transparent, genuine, and yeah, just caring about each other genuinely. I think is one of the core things that our relationship is built on, and that has kept us, of course, with God. So, but yeah, it's been fun. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to, chat to you and talk about
Yeah,
our friendship.
thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much. So
Thank you.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye.